Hello and welcome to the Plan B Heroic Halfus How-To Guide. My name is Riz and I'll be walking you through step by step as to how we overcame this encounter. Okay, so first things first. In Heroic Halfus, he obtains all his abilities because all 5 Drakes are available for release. The rating configuration we've chose to overcome this is 3 tanks, 3 heals and 4 DPS. Okay, so obviously you can see that when we engage this encounter, our main tank threw a shield at Halfus, and then our priest life gripped into the back of the room. This gives our tank a little bit of reprieve before he has to start taking damage and taking on those stacking debuffs. As for our second tank, he's obviously engaged Nether. Now the DPS, we burn Nether down really quick. This is so we can free up our off tank or our second tank, so that our main tank and him can then swap and relieve their stacks. We found there was a little bit too much damage in order to actually tank swap and have a Drake on our tanks at the same time. So we chose to obviously nuke the Drake down. We used Hero in order to overcome the damage that we had to do, roughly 6 mil. Yeah, and that's pretty much how we sort of mitigated that sort of problem. During that time, our tank, or our paladin tank that we chose, he lifted his stacks to 10, bubbled, which allowed him to clear his stacks, which gave us enough time to burn down that Drake for our off tank, then to start the swapping rotation. Our third tank, in the meantime, had Whelp and Storm Drakes. This we chose to have a DK tank on. The reason being is that he was able to generate a large amount of threat, obviously on those Whelps and that Drake. Biggest thing we found was when we originally first started doing this, is that DPS would just open up on Whelps and the tank just couldn't hold threat. Now, I don't know if that's a tank skill thing, but that's what we found, and so we sort of decided to focus on obviously relieving that. Our second tank. But we're still killing Storm Rider. As you can see, we killed the Whelps, but we're still killing Storm Rider off. The reason being is when Furious Roars come, 2 Drakes on our off tank is just too much damage. Not enough, even as much hots as we had on him, just couldn't keep him alive during that obviously Furious Roar stage. Best thing is, now that Whelps are dead and we release time in order to give our healers a bit more reprieve, is that obviously the damage is reduced, because in that first part there, damage is nuts. Healers are strained really quite hard, and yeah, obviously that's why we released time, because that way we could at least, the DPS and the rest of everyone else could at least get out of the fire. This allowed us to sort of keep everyone alive during the Furious Roar phase, because getting nuked by fireballs was causing a great deal of problems. So obviously we've got 1 Drake still penned, and we've got time munching on our third tank. You can see that we're about to hit the sort of Furious Roar stage of the fight. We're all focused on Halfus now, just trying to bring him down, not too fussed about time. He's just going to stay on our third tank, while our 2 tanks sort of just tank swap, make sure they get those Shadow Novas. Biggest thing to be aware of now is, guys, in Heroic, Furious Roar hurts. It does a serious amount of damage, and it's something that you can't avoid. So healers, you need to make sure that you have everyone roughly topped up fairly well. So we're calling out now that Furious Roar is starting to happen. Obviously I haven't linked the vent here, but we are calling out that Furious Roar is coming. Our tanks are obviously making sure that they've swapped for it, and it should happen roughly now. Now, obviously I'm a mage, so it's my job to make sure that on the third Furious Roar, I blink and then counterspell, which is my interrupt. You can see that we actually lost the DPS because of Furious Roar's damage. Just it was too much, and the fireballs obviously didn't really work out too well there either. He was battle rezzed, which is good. We've got another Furious Roar coming, and we're just maintaining our damage on Halfus. Now the best part is, guys, because we have 4 Drakes released, Halfus's damage is up by 200%, which is pretty much the only thing that saves us from the Berserker timer. So you can see there, another blink, another counter spell. Very, very important. I'm not too sure as to how else you'd overcome that without a mage. There may be another class that's really good at something. Not too sure. But yeah, that's primarily the why this group wanted me in, because I'm a mage and I'm awesome. We'll go with that. You can see obviously another Furious Roar. Our Shaman put down his Spirit Link thing. So I'm ninjaing a few heals there. Again, blink and counterspell. Very important. Biggest thing, guys, is to make sure that tanks keep moving, keep interrupting, because that fire will still hurt. So if you move out of it, it will really save your healers. Again, guys, that's pretty much the whole fight. As you can see, this is our first kill. It's one of our most tidiest attempts. So yeah, basically get in there, give it a go, see what works for your group. This configuration we found to be the most effective. Again, guys, yeah, that's pretty much it. This has been Riz from Plan B. You'll find us on Aim and Thul. Get in there, have some fun. This has been Riz from Plan B. You'll find us on Aim and Thul. Special thanks to Smokers, who pulled us through our first number of insane wipes. Remember, guys, feel free to subscribe to our YouTube page. There's lots more videos to come. Again, thanks for watching. Cheers.